Oops. Hey! how you doing there, Internet? What's good? It's your girl, Lady, and we back with more Goemon and a little bit of internet history, as may have become obvious by the songs I was playing. So yeah, that's the plan. More Goemon. We're gonna get us a new character, and probably do this next dungeon. If that doesn't take me too goddamn long, we'll see. And we're gonna talk about the internet, particularly the ways it's affected sociality over the years as more people have started to use it. But we're gonna start at the beginning. What we do here is go back. So we're gonna start at the beginning when, you know, starts sounding like an old woman. Back in my day, everybody knew the same memes, and there were only 3 websites where you could find them, and if you yeah, so that's where we're gonna start with shit. No fucking around with Goemon tonight, from a technical standpoint. I got that shit running before I even started, so it's like already going. and I'll be able to pull it up here when the song loops back around. Yeah, anyway, how y'all doing? I hope you're well. I'm doing pretty okay. I was kinda bummed out last time I streamed, but I'm feeling a little bit better. Been using my happy lamp, which is helpful, especially for seasonal depression. Like, if you struggle with that and you don't have a lamp like that, you should get you one. And make sure you're using it right, too. A lot of people get these things and they don't fucking use them right. And, as a result, it doesn't really end up helping them that much. I've looked into the research on them, as I tend to do with anything, and, as it turns out, you gotta position the motherfucker, like, above your head, because most of the receptors in your eyes that, detect sunlight, and, you know, for the purposes of, like, communicating to your body that it's daytime and all that shit, they're located on, like, the bottom of your retinas, which makes sense because you evolved with the sun, which is above you. So, yeah. So you gotta position the thing above your head. I just put mine, like, on top of my monitor, and I pull the monitor close to me, because it's gotta be, like, within... It's gotta be within 18 inches of your eyes for maximum efficacy. Oh, here we go. I won't interrupt the theme song. Just let that run. That's Suzuki! We finna get him. Howdy, Waz. How you doing? So, like, how many of y'all in chat right now were, like, around on the internet, like, during, like, the first round of people on the internet? Like, trying to remember exactly the year. ish that I'm referring to when I say that. It would have been like, I guess, like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, around 98. That sounds about right. I'm fixing to talk about like the history of onlineness and like how the internet has changed and how the internet has changed sociality over the last, you know, I guess 20 years at this point. Trying to think of where I need to go. I need to go to the Chugoku region, if I recall, which I think I get there from Zeizen Town, so I'm gonna go there. Yeah, I had the internet when I was like 9. I got dial-up, and I had a computer. And I had my own computer, which was not like terribly fucking common back in like 98 or so. But I did. It was seemingly important to my dad that I had that, and I appreciated it. I think it really benefited me a lot for a number of reasons. I don't think everything that I saw as a young child on the internet necessarily benefited me, but I don't know. I think the exposure overall was a good thing. And it really, like, being able to say that I grew up with the internet for the most part is, you know, you learn to use the internet and as kind of like an, you know, an extra limb, so to speak, when you start using it that early. So yeah, I'm grateful for the early exposure. However, a key difference between me and a lot of other folks who are younger than me is that I didn't grow up with social media, which I think is a big distinction, as it turns out. I'm trying to remember where the fucking Chugoku region is. I think it might be... I think there's a door somewhere in here. Yeah, man, that was some of the first shit that I did with my internet too, was look up walkthroughs and cheats and shit like that. You printed out an entire walkthrough once on a dot matrix printer. Yeah, that's some early internet shit. Or like, who among you has ever printed out MapQuest directions? I certainly have. Many a time. Many a time. That's gonna make you sound like a very ancient person here in a few short years. It already makes me feel kind of old, knowing that I did that for so long. Here we go, that's where I'm going. I'm gonna get some items first. Yeah, I was only, like, the period of time that I was, like, driving, like basically there was not a lot of time wherein GPS was not a thing yet, and also I was driving. So I didn't have that much experience printing out MapQuest directions, but hot tofu. I don't think this is. I need rice balls. Yeah. Excuse me. I didn't really make an outline for this stream. I was just gonna kind of bullshit for a little bit, reminisce, reflect, excuse me, all that shit. So, apologies in advance if I don't seem like I'm very organized. I'm not. So, I do have a general idea of some things that I would like to address, but, that's about it, really. Yeah, like, I remember I was using, like, a Garmin, like a GPS that's, like, a standalone thing back before that was, like, everybody had a fucking smartphone, and that was a late adapter to smartphone. I had a not smartphone for a lot longer than, most people did. And I still really don't use my smartphone that much. I can't really relate to people who say they're addicted to their phones. I'm really not. I think mostly because I'm kind of at home a lot, so there's not really much of a reason for me to be looking at my phone when I could just look at my computer screen. So there's that. But also, like, even when I'm out and I, you know, like if I'm waiting for an appointment or like otherwise trying to kill time, I'm generally not quick to pull out my phone, like, immediately. And it's sort of like, I don't know, sometimes it's a little bit, like, unnerving to look around a room and notice that I'm the only person not looking at my phone. Especially if I'm like at a social gathering and people are supposed to be, like, engaged and shit. Like, if you're at a party, put your fucking phone away. What are you doing? Like, holy shit. If your phone is more entertaining than the party you're at, you need to find better friends. Like, I don't know how else to put that. You should be able to fucking put that shit down. And engage with your friends. Huh. The door has been locked with a special key. So, if I remember correctly, I gotta go get some batteries for Suzuki, who I have the body of, but he's not, like, he doesn't have any batteries, so he's not working, because he's a robot ninja. Oh, this track is so good. Sorry, I need to catch up on chat. Yeah, I'll talk more about that later, but yeah, the development of social media and the popularization of that has really impacted people a lot. Particularly, is this where I need to go? I'm not sure at all. We're gonna find out, I suppose. Yeah, that's some other shit. Readily available video internet pornography. Also a big deal, especially for boys. I would say that social media was maybe overall will prove more harmful for girls, and the porn will prove more harmful for boys. For entirely different reasons and in ways that, you know, they affect both populations very differently, but regardless, it's definitely problematic in a number of ways if you go overboard with either of those things. And yeah, the phone addiction thing. I mean, I definitely look at Twitter more than I probably should, but it's also something I'm able to stop looking at if I have other shit to do. It's just kind of fun sometimes. Like, if you can actually have a decent, like, conversation or debate with people, or, like, I follow a lot of people that just post, like, funny shit or interesting shit. Like, that's... I don't know. I definitely see people who are on social media way too much. Either I guess, Facebook or Twitter. I'm not sure if this is where I need to be going. I suppose I'll find out, like I said. Yeah, I'm still kind of ambivalent about my own personal use of Twitter. It's like, I like it most of the time. And it's kind of a fun place to just be able to, like, spout off bullshit. Cause, like, it's just not a very serious place. Like, I don't think anybody should be taking tweets very seriously, which is one of the reasons why I think it's fucking absurd that people have, like, straight up lost their jobs over tweets. Like, I suppose it depends on what you said and what your job is and all that shit, but, like, overall, you're talking about just fucking... It's just... I think I've said this before, it's like the lowest form of communication in Twitter. You're talking about just, like, thoughts that people are not immediately socially accountable for, that, you know, weren't in any sense proofread. And yeah, I just don't think people should be taking it that seriously, which, you know, maybe I should be taking it more seriously. I don't think that's the case, though. Everyone seems to realize that at least Twitter in particular was probably, like, overall a mistake. So, anyway, I don't wanna get too sidetracked with that. I actually do think Twitter is a lower form of communication than a Twitch chat. Especially, like, a small one like mine. Like, y'all are socially accountable for shit that you say in my chat. At least to me. If not to the other people who are participating in the conversation. So that's like a check on what you're saying. Like, you get immediate social feedback without just, like, spouting shit off. Whereas Twitter and other platforms that are, like, you know, you put shit out there and you see what sticks. That's not how normal human sociality is supposed to work. I think this is where the Festival Temple Castle is, which is where I need to go eventually, but not right now. I'm probably gonna need to turn around. But we'll see. Yeah, no, this is where it is. I'm gonna go back this way. I think the door back there was where I needed to go. So yeah, that like immediate social feedback is how people get socialized normally, and social media is pretty dissimilar to that, but it mimics sociality enough that it kind of hijacks our mechanisms for dealing with it and processing it, to the point where it can, you know, kind of... I don't think this is where I needed to go either. Oh, I remember what happens here, but it's later. So yeah, like on social media, for example, it's worse than a Twitch chat because of what I said about like immediate social feedback, but it's also both you know, Twitch chat and Twitter and what have you are also worse as social communication because you don't get like body language and tone of voice and all of that shit. Well, I guess you get tone of voice if you're like listening to me talk, but in a chat room you don't. And that really is a problem you know, especially when you're trying to, like, talk about touchy shit with people on Twitter and you already don't agree on something, like, they're going to read whatever you're saying. Like, they're not going to cast you in the best possible light, more than likely. So, you know, even if you wrote something and you thought it sounded a certain way to you, it could, you know, take on a completely different meaning if it was read in a different tone or with, you know, emphasis on different words. Like, you have no idea what you sound like in somebody else's head, you know? So, yeah. It's flawed. I think maybe this is where I need to go. This is like one of the... It's the largest part of the game, this whole region, so like it's very sprawled out, and I don't have a good mental map of it. I just wanted to come in here so that I could fly here.
I saw it! There was the tube that was emitting electricity above the waters of Venaba?
A tube emitting electricity? That sounds like a battery. The sort of battery I need. I was trying to go in the direction of Kyushu, but there was a strange wall that kept me from going forward. And I think that's where I was just at. At the oasis on the dune of Inaba, east of here, you'll find an electro tube floating that emits electricity. Okay, so you said there was a tube that was in the waters of Inaba. Are they talking about the same place? I don't know, we're gonna find out. I remember one of the batteries being in like a desert. So that's one thing I remember. Anyway, I'm getting kind of sidetracked. Sorry. Let me talk about the songs that I played. I've got some real good shit later too, so buckle up. Well, the first one I played is not an old theme song. That was just kind of a setup song. That is the theme song for this series that this YouTuber iDubbbz does called Content Cop, which he's not done a Content Cop in like over a year at this point. And the people are definitely hungry for another one of those. And that there's certainly no shortage of targets that he could choose. So, yeah, I would love to see another Content Cop. He does take his time with them. They're very well researched. Okay, so there is a battery here at the top of that tree. However, I think I need to get another one first. Maybe not, but I would prefer to encounter Suzuki in that place rather than the desert. Because the desert has really eerie music, and I don't want like his introduction as a character to be there. I think, yeah, 8 sounds about right. A number of them were on, like, general categories of YouTubers rather than specific people, like amateur food reviewers or, fucking tech destruction channels. But my favorite ones are the ones where he goes after a specific person. It's definitely some, like reputational bloodlust and schadenfreude for sure. But the thing is, he never goes after anybody that doesn't totally deserve it. So it's like, you know. Hey, this is what I was looking for. bass is fucking huge. And like, it's a cool track, but also makes you feel like something bad's about to happen. Yeah, I think he did the kids' toy review channels. It's another like general class of shit that he did. But yeah, like I just recently rewatched the Keemstar one. It's awfully satisfying, I gotta say. Oh my goodness, and the first one I ever saw from him was the Rice Gum one. I hadn't even heard of iDubbbz or Content Cop prior to seeing that one, which is the last one that he did. Over a year ago at this point. And that's really satisfying too, because Rice Gum is a shithead. I don't, like, yeah, he's yeah! Is that the battery? That looks like the battery. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked on that, because that's kind of new shit relative to the stages of internet I'm talking about here. So, yeah, that's the battery. Yeah! And then... kitty? Cool. So what else did I play? Oh fucking Numa Numa! I don't know the actual name of the song. It's like in fucking Romanian, which is the language that song is in, by the way, if you're ever curious. That's a wanna say Moldovan pop group called Ozone. And they do that song. Which, if you're an internet old head like myself, you'll remember that was popularized very early in viral video history by that very expressive kid lip-syncing it to the camera and dancing in a jovial manner. I totally, unironically, really like that song. I think it's really good. Yeah, okay, I see a wall. And I really enjoyed hearing it for the first time in many years, as I was trying to think of shit I wanted to play for the stream. Yeah, it used to be, man, like, everybody saw the same viral videos. Like, if you were on the internet at the time, like, Numa Numa was viral, you saw it. Like, you couldn't have avoided it. And now, people have, like, there's, like, different competing meme economies, and, like, you can't really expect everybody on the internet to be seeing the same shit. And in a way, that's kind of not as fun, but you can at least have, like, memes and viral shit within different subcultures. So I guess that's okay. Oh wait, I did need to be back that way, because I have to go to the tree now. So yeah, that was one of those, like, inescapable videos back in the day. Similarly, the other song I played before I came on, that All Your Bass techno remix, that was inescapable at the time. The internet were young as a thing. Wait, no, I have to go this way. I think. I'll figure it out. Wait. Was there not a... Or wait, was that up here? It was up here. That's right. Yeah, fucking, Nielsi Surega? Is that how you say his name? Yeah, he's been at this for a hot minute. He is very good at what he does. It is by no means a trivial task, combining things as he does. And yeah, he's arguably been memeing before memes were called memes, definitely. I'm still kind of... I don't exactly know how that term gained popularity among, like, normal folks. Because, like, it's a term that, Richard Dawkins came up with, if I remember correctly. And he describes it as a unit of culture. And, he did that in, like, a pop psychology book. I can't remember which one. That might have been in The Selfish Gene, for all I remember. It's been years since I read that book. But yeah, it's sort of surprising to me that it picked up such steam. With, like, normal-ass people, like, outside of academia, outside of, you know, people who study this, etc. But I think it's just, it caught on because it's a really useful word. And, if you didn't have that, you would really struggle to describe some of these things. Alex, I remember you telling me when you used to do shit on, YTMND, they had, like, different names for memes. They called them, like, fads or something like that, which, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's a unit of culture, and I would say a replicable unit of culture. It's kind of an important component to it, so other people can mimic it. And they can do that as, like, a social signal that they're part of whatever culture. Yeah. Sorry, I was kind of dicking around here. I think I need to use my camera. Yeah. Shwa. Cool shit.
Yay, Panda!
Oh man. I don't know what to make Suzuki sound like. I kind of want to give him a Butters voice to compliment Ibisumaru's fucking Cartman voice. I think I'm gonna do that. He is tiny and adorable, so it works better. Like, Butters for Suzuki is more fair than Cartman for Ibisumaru, who, as I mentioned when I gave him that voice, does not deserve it. It's just funny to me, so that's what I'm going with. So yeah, that's a thing. If you were on the internet back in the day, everybody knew the same memes, and now you've got, like, it's balkanized. Like, you have memes within specific subcultures, sometimes within specific, like, communities, and, you know, you're expected to keep up with that shit in order to be part of that community or that subculture. And it's something that you can do to demonstrate that you belong there. Which is why people meme, and it's obnoxious sometimes because, you know, people are just trying to show that they belong, and you know, signal to the people that they think are like them and all that shit. It's a very human thing, and I generally speaking don't fault people for it. It's just the problem with memeing too hard is that, I mean, there's not a lot of originality in it. I suppose you can be original in how you use the memes. That's sort of the thing, is like, if you can use like a tired meme in a new way that makes it funny again, that's great. Like, I support people doing that. But generally speaking, if all you're doing is just like talking in memes, you're probably boring as shit. Like, honestly. Like, I've known people like that. Like, there are streamers that I basically had to stop watching because, like, that's all they did. And it's like, you're not providing me with any original thoughts here. Like, I need a little more intellectual engagement, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, I'm definitely a little scatterbrained tonight. I'm in a better mood at least, but attention is not quite focused. Let's get Suzuki. Electro Shine Unite!
What the? Isn't that Yai? What in the world am I doing here? Hey, that's what I want to know. Your batteries were knocked out of place and you just froze. That happened to me? Well, what happened? There seems to be a glitch in my memory circuit. I'm having trouble remembering. I must hurry and have my old wise man repair it. Or wise old man. Suzuki, about your wise old man, well, there was an explosion that demolished his whole house, and he's gone missing since, well, with the explosion. What? Who would do such a thing? We believe it had to do with the Peach Mountain guys that we're after. My wise old man? Really? By guys with a crazy name like Peach Mountain? Grr. I'm gonna crush those Peach Mountain guys. Let me go with you. And as a result, the mechanical ninja Suzuki joins forces with Goemon. Yay! Now with the addition of Suzuki, doors with cracks in them can be destroyed using Suzuki's firecracker bomb. Yeah! So he has kunai, and he also has bombs, which are a lot of fun. I like Suzuki. He's my second favorite character, easily. He's too short. Like, this is all the other characters can walk in this, but he has to swim because he's so tiny. That's cute. I love how he jumps and he like flips. He's a lot of fun. Okay, that didn't take too long. That did not take too long. I really had like very imprecise memory as to how long that was gonna take, so we should be able to do the Festival Temple Castle. Yeah, exactly. If you're able to mutate and adapt in a novel way, or rather apply in a novel way, memes, that keeps them alive. And like, some memes have been around for a really long time and just won't die. I'm just trying to think of a good example of a meme that has
I mean, fucking Smash Mouth, that's still a thing. Like, people are still making all-star jokes. Which I'm kind of fine with. I don't know why I find that hilarious. Still, but I kind of do. Okay, no, the desert's that way. I need to go this way and find, that one place I was at the beginning where I said, like, hey, I don't need to be here yet. That's where I need to go now. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, I was trying to think of, yeah, Fresh Prince memes are still alive and well. For sure. And yeah, you're right. Like, there are some memes that, like, they only get used, like, repeatedly and in a manner that's just not interesting. And as a result, they go away. Like, trying to remember some, like, flash in the pan memes that just weren't getting applied in interesting ways, and as a result, they just, like, kind of never caught on and didn't stick around. There's that one recently about, like, hey, they did surgery on a grape. Which, like, I kind of liked that because it was a meme that sort of, like, it was funny for almost, like, meta reasons, I guess. Oh, cool. But there's really only one circumstance in which you can use it, I guess. Which is, like, as an irrelevant sort of fun fact in any given situation. Yeah. Did you say the surgery on a grape thing before I said it? That's funny if we both thought of that. That's great. Great minds and all that shit. I think those were the only two crackables over here. Yeah, like that was a flash in the pan meme. That was around for maybe like a week, and then it was gone because it just wasn't that interesting. Whereas, like, you know, you can kind of get some mileage out of fucking all-star jokes if you're timing it correctly. No, this is not where I needed to go. This is where I came from. Yeah, steamed hams had a lot of fucking steam for a while there. And that was a fun meme. I really enjoyed a lot of those dumb fucking steamed hams videos. But, I think this is where I needed to go. We'll find out, I suppose. Is that? Oh. You see that fucking fortune doll? Oh, I'ma get it. I'ma get it. So yeah. I guess I probably should have made some kind of an outline. I'm kind of tired and I'm not terribly focused, but... Well, let me just, I guess, talk about, like, how the internet started to look different once we got social media. So, at the point we got social media, a lot of the reasons that people were using the internet changed. Because, like, at the beginning, it was really kind of just mostly, like, introverted people who, you know, maybe weren't even terribly interested in being social, even in a social media sense. But then, what's over there? Sorry. looks kind of suspicious, doesn't it? What do you want to bet I can't even get up there, though? I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be a big pain in the ass to get back over there. I'm doing it. It's fine. Okay, this looks like there's gonna be something at the end of it. Oh shit. How the fuck am I supposed to do that? Oh, you have to crawl. I guess. Oh, no, 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 no. You have to be little. There we go. See? There's a cat over there. I knew it. Yay! Okay. I imagine that is all of the cats here. There are also localized memes, which I'm starting to be more acquainted with in like the past decade. Yeah. And you don't know what's epimemetics. Oh my god. So like, I'm taking a class right now that's it's kind of an overview of human behavior from an evolutionary perspective, with a focus on primates. And we just read this book. It's called Sense and Nonsense, and it's essentially a pretty even-handed account of the sort of sometimes explosive gradual union of I guess essentially social constructionism and evolutionary biology. So like the folks in the humanities, your sociologists, your like more social theory leaning scientists and philosophers, synthesizing what they know with the evolutionary biology people, which really to this day has not happened in any meaningful capacity, and these two camps don't really talk much still. Like, the biology people, I mean, it's all very, like, faction-y within their own groups. They can't even get along within their own groups. Like, the evopsych people hate the fucking biological anthropology people, hate the fucking gene culture coevolution people. Like, they just... It's funny. It's funny, because, like, these views are so similar, and it's kind of bonkers to me, the notion that these people could be, like, at each other's throats and rolling their eyes at each other's papers when they're just taking one perspective in favor of a different one that's only slightly different. And it's like, I mean, if you guys can't even work shit out with each other, how do you ever expect to work shit out with, like, people in the humanities, for example? There's just a lot of closed-minded bullshit. Oh, this is not where I need to go. Sorry, I was kind of getting off on a tangent there. In this class, the last time I went on Monday, the idea of memes came up. It was mentioned in the book. And the authors of the book noted, I think correctly, that memes are ultimately going to be really, really difficult to study because defining them, yeah, this is where I needed to go, is orders of magnitude more complex than defining a gene, which is like the unit that this is supposed to be based off of. That's why he called it that, like a meme. And while I don't doubt that there's a lot of similarities there, defining the structure of a meme and, you know, what it is, what it isn't, how it affects people, that's a pretty tall order for any scientist using any perspective. So Um, you'd mentioned epimemetics. Like, to me, that could not really be a thing because memes are already so, like, fluid and poorly defined and ever-changing in a way that genes aren't, even with epigenetics. That it's, I guess not as useful of a parallel. But it is funny. So... excuse me. Man, my monitor is so dark. I noticed that, like, what you guys see is a lot brighter than what I see on my monitor, and I kind of wonder, maybe I can adjust this? Let's see. I mean, I've got the brightness all the way up, looks like. Oh, hey. Cool. I changed a setting on my monitor and it seems to have helped. Let's see. How do I... Oh wait, is that what this button does? No. Oh, here we go. Sorry, bear with me here a moment. Shit. No. Go. Damn it. I'm trying to figure out how to go to different parts of the fucking menu, but it would seem that I can't do that. I did it a second ago, and now I can't do it. That one change that I made might have been helpful enough, though. So I think I might just leave it alone. Yeah, that helped enough. I'll just leave it alone. Google is trying to define memes in this way. They put out a video internally like 5 or 6 years ago, and it leaked to the outside world. Basically, they want to sequence memes, i.e. figure out the measurable facets of societal behavior. It was called the selfish ledger. Why'd they call it that? I'm assuming as a reference to like the selfish gene, which, like I said, I think that's the book in which the term meme was coined. The Peach Mountain Shogun's Festival Temple Castle. That's where we're at. Oh, did I see this video? I said it was ambitious. That sounds like what I would say. I don't have a memory of having seen it, but that sounds like exactly how I would have responded to that. It's a tall fucking order, man. It's a tall fucking order. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't think it's impossible. Certainly. But, I mean, I guess if anybody could do it, it'd be Google. I'm just saying it's like... It would be difficult for any, like, normal scientist to tackle this, but Google has enough data available that they might actually be able to do it. If they knew how to use that data, and I don't know, there's smart people that work there, I'm sure they could figure it out. how difficult the Festival Temple Castle is. I kind of remember it being sort of shitty, but I don't think it's that bad. Alright. Let's go in there. Do you wish to save? Yes! I'm glad they're giving me the opportunity to do that. Yay. The music is good, of course. It's difficult to say where I would rank it. It's not above the Ghost Toys Castle, and it's not above the Gourmet Submarine Castle. Which, oh, fuck me. Oh, wow, I immediately lost a life. Holy shit. Wow. No, oh, okay. That's some do not passcode, do not collect $200 kind of shit right there. God damn. I do eventually need to die so that y'all can see the game over screen because it's hilarious. And you'll definitely want to see it. Now there's a kitty somewhere around here. I'ma find it. I might not be able to get it yet. And it might not be in this room. Oh, they referenced Dawkins in the video. Yeah, it's not that I don't think, like, I think a meme as a unit of culture is a valid description of it. I'm just saying, like, when you're talking about the actual fucking description of what you got there and defining it in, like, measurable, as we say in science, operationalized terms, which means, like, you have the fucking parameters that you can measure to understand it. There's the cat over there. Like, for example, if you want to, like for example, in this study I'm fixing to start collecting data on, we're using a measure for the moral foundations theory, like a questionnaire about that has been validated for the purposes of quantifying people's moral values on the dimensions it measures. It's been validated across cultures to do that thing. And, I think okay, I know what I have to do. I just have to come back to that. Whereas, like, we don't have any sort of tests like that for what a meme even is yet. So we're not terribly far into it as far as being able to, like, measure and study them in any specific sense. Like, I know memetics is kind of a thing, but it's my understanding that it's in its infancy as a science, and not really getting very far because of the inability for scientists to operationalize memes as a variable. I don't really anticipate that picking up a lot of steam unless Google comes up with something. Then maybe I can see it. But I don't know. I have a hard time imagining some just, like, professor's lab coming up with something that would really, like, crack memetics wide open. Like, I feel like it's to some extent gonna have to be like a brute force data effort that someone like Google would be capable of doing, but yeah. It'll be a fishing expedition For sure. And generally speaking, scientists don't do those for a number of reasons. We already got cooler music. How do I get up there? Not really seeing a way to get over there. I might have to come back here once I have a particular ability that I do not have right now. I haven't got a key yet, yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's no silver bullet to this. There are many levels of fuzz. Many levels of fuzz. And yeah, I would agree that anything we know about it currently is just barely rising above the level of noise. Yeah. I suppose it would be useful to, like, maybe categorize these things. Because, like, memes have different media and different, like, routes of administration, so to speak. Whether you're talking about something like auditory or visual or both. You know, how morally salient is it? That's another thing that's important. This is tricky. Damn it. Oh, hey, there you go. Man, fuck you. Yeah, rather than... What the hell? The fuck's up with this room? The fuck is up with this room? Huh. Okay. Well, let's talk about something that we've been a little bit more successful in measuring. That's the general impact of social media on people. Specifically kids. So I mentioned this distinction between, like, yeah, I grew up with the internet, but I didn't grow up with social media. And that would, as it turns out, that speaks to my level of mental health and general well-being, that I did not grow up with social media, because a lot of the kids in Gen Z, like the generation after millennials, are developing higher rates of depression, anxiety, and other disorders, and that's all correlated with social media use. It's become particularly bad for like young and adolescent girls, which is whoa, fuck you. Which is a product of like how girls conduct social life relative to boys. Generally speaking, if boys have a conflict, they'll resolve things more directly even in like a physical way. That's still more likely to happen, especially with kids, than, you know, a series of like passive-aggressive social media posts followed by like, you know, like a secret cabal of your friends that you gathered in order to torture this one person, which is something that girls do. Yeah, men are terrifying too, don't get me wrong, but like, you know, women might not kill you, but they might make you wish you were dead. That's maybe something they're capable of more than men, I don't know. Damn, did I fuck that up and now I have to go like all the way the fuck around? For real? Oh wow, I need to not fall. I need to not fall again. I need to go ahead and not do that. That was... Oh, fuck you. No! And about what I was just saying, that's not universally true. I'm not saying that boys can't, you know, be assholes on social media and, you know, really fuck with people, engage in cyberbullying, and otherwise be hostile and shitty on the internet. Most of the people that fucking harass me or otherwise on Twitter are dudes. Like the vast majority. Every once in a while I'll get like one crazy girl that I'm just like totally stunned is that obsessed. But it happens. God damn it. It happens every once in a while. Generally speaking, it takes like misogyny for a dude or anybody to be that motivated to like climb up my ass on Twitter. Because generally speaking, I'm just not saying anything that outrageous if you're familiar with like science. So if I'm saying something that's striking you as completely fucking crazy, you probably ain't read enough about it, or you think whatever I'm saying is crazy anyway because I sound like a feminist, and all of those folks are bonkers, of course, because Sargon told you so. So yeah, a lot of the time I'll just like, people will just like pick up a vibe from me, or like from some of the language that I'm using, and just immediately start treating me like shit, like just with contempt and hostility. Which is a good indication to me that I just need to stop talking to that person, because they're mad about feminism because they don't want to listen to women, and they maybe even hate women on some level. So like, whatever I say is not gonna get through their fucking, you know, bulletproof shield of rationality. I can't make people listen to this shit. Like, if you're convinced that there are no remnants of any patriarchal anything and yada yada, like, I'm not gonna fucking convince you to fucking rip that band-aid off and eat the truth. Like, that's not gonna be something that I do. I can maybe plant a couple seeds that might, like, you know, sprout into something resembling wokeness, but I really can't do that. If you're not willing to, you know, hear people out on that shit, and you just want to be convinced that, you know, we're all on a level playing field and there's no deep-seated problems with any, like, systemic social issues in the world and everything's just, like, if you're in that bubble, like, I can't pop that for you, and it's sure, like, it's probably not gonna be a woman that pops it for you anyway, because you don't want to listen to women if you're in that mindset. So anyway, yada yada, men can be shitty on social media too. That was the point I was trying to make. I guess men are, like, more overtly aggressive on social media, whereas women are more likely to be, like, passive-aggressive or, like, you know, take a long con to try and fuck with you or fuck with your reputation. Hi, son. How you doing? We talking about the internet, like early internet, and how it is changed over the last few years. Last, like, 15 years, really, not few. Cool. I still need a key though, and I don't know where that is. So we gonna be looking around. Yeah, so like I said, most anyone that like yells at me on social media is probably a dude. That's also a product of the fact that I'm often fighting with people about feminism specifically, and that has a way of attracting anti-feminists, which Kel Supris are mostly dudes. Wow, who'd have thought? So they're definitely anti-feminist women. And they're usually very popular. I remember saying once that for every anti-feminist woman on Twitter, there are 20 men on the wrong side of history ready to follow her. Which I think is true. I think it's true. You know, most women are not wanting to sell out their own like that, so to speak, but, you know, a lot of people liked how shit was before, and they don't necessarily want all the changes that feminism is trying to accomplish. Which I don't think is fair, personally. Like, that's cool if you know, want to, like, for example, not be in the workplace and you want to just, like, be a mom and, you know, do the traditionalist thing. I think that's totally fine and totally cool, but if you're saying that, like, other women should not get the opportunity to do what they want to do with their lives because you're comfortable doing the traditionalist thing, I think that's remarkably selfish and shitty of you, to be honest. Like, I know that there are women who feel that way in part because feminism has done kind of such a shitty job of being positive about, you know, motherhood and family generally, which I'll admit is definitely a prevailing message of feminism, especially like a few years ago. And I don't support that or agree with it. And I never did, really. I've never wanted kids, but I've also, there's the fucking key. But I've also never been contemptuous of motherhood or women who want to dedicate their lives to a family. I don't see anything wrong with that. However, like I said, if you're just like, you know, kind of fuck you got mine about that shit and you don't care about other women getting the rights and abilities to do what they want to do because you're comfortable where you're at, you're kind of a selfish cunt. And you're no better than any feminist that's shitting on, you know, women having families and wanting to be full-time mothers. You're not any better than those women. So, you know, that's something I wanted to say because it kind of pisses me off when I see it. I'm getting off on tangents here, for sure. I've already been over there. There's nothing over there for me. I need to find that door, is what I need to do. So I need to get out of here. What'd you put in chat here? Recent poll done by national media over here determined that 2/3 of people who regularly use social media avoid participating in debates on social media because they can't handle the tone. So you're saying that over 2/3 of people that use social media avoid participating in debates on social media because they can't handle the tone? That's interesting. Hi, XK. Camera's a little fucked in this game. It's not that bad relative to some other similar games of the era, but it's not great. I can understand why somebody wouldn't be into that. I just kind of like arguing. It's just, you know, I'm an academic. You kind of, like, you have to be willing to do that in order to sharpen and refine and, you know, correct your ideas if needed. So it's something that I can't be shy about, otherwise I would not be good at my job. So, I do understand it though. And it's not like it always makes me happier or better adjusted to have Twitter fights. In fact, I would say maybe at least half the time, it's a frustrating exercise in misery, but sometimes it's really, really productive in a way that I don't often get anywhere else, so I guess I put up with it for that reason. Yeah, I do think that the internet and social media in particular, and maybe Twitter in specific, has done a lot to elucidate, excuse me, how shitty humans are, and how much we should, you know, be checking ourselves in a number of ways to avoid falling into our own traps, of which there are many. Particularly moral outrage. That's a very easy thing for... Here we go. Like, funky organ situation. Not bad. Hey! The kunai of severe cold. This allows you to temporarily stop flames coming from the fox or cool down hot floors by continuously holding down the B button and then letting go. The kunai intense hail beam can be shot, in which the kunai will fly in 3 directions. So, do the kunai... Yeah, they use money, that's right. Okay, so now I have that. A kunai is the weapon he has. You can see it in the bottom left corner. They're kind of like little knives. You can like flip them around and shit. And yeah, social media does create bubbles. That's part of the problem. Is it's really easy to just find your team and not do anything to challenge views that conflict with that. Which, people, you know, if you don't force yourself to do it, it's very easy to just fall into. It's like, why would I do this challenging thing of you know, trying to talk to people that I don't agree with when I can just, you know, do sociality on easy mode and only interact with people who I share core values with. I mean, it's pretty easy to see how that can go wrong when you phrase it like that, but, you know, people, for the most part, aren't really thinking about it, and they're framing the world in Manichaean terms, meaning, like, the people that agree with me are good, and the people that disagree with me are evil, which I see a whole lot in politics. If anything, it's only getting worse. Yeah, no, son, you, like, I've seen how you argue with people, like, on y'all's Discord server, for example. Those are good, productive debates. And yeah, you don't shy away from talking to people with whom you deeply disagree, and I think that's important. If you're trying to, like I said, solidify your own views, like, figure out what you actually fucking think and believe, you need to talk to people that disagree with you. If you just end up talking to people that you agree with, all you're gonna come up with is like a more inflated version of what you already think. You're not gonna come up with like a better version. It's just gonna be like bigger and shittier. You're not tempering it. You're just making it like bloated with validation that is maybe unearned. So yeah. That short, kind of dismissive quip about opinions, I've only started to feel more and more strongly toward. Opinions are like assholes, everyone has one and they all stink. Yeah! That's not wrong. That's not wrong. But odds are, if you are sharpening your opinions against people who disagree with you, you are not going to have as smelly of an opinion, because it will not be as sort of aversive to people that don't already totally agree with you, and it'll sound more reasonable. Whoa. Oh, this is cool. I remember this. Damn it. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with airing an opinion, unsolicited. I mean, if it's totally fucking irrelevant, then that's just kind of, you know, not socially graceful. But it's not fucking wrong to do, and I don't really necessarily consider it rude either. I mean, you have to have opinions. You can't just fucking, like, as much as I would like to just talk and research all the time, that's not possible. Even if you're trying as hard as you can to do it, and I really do. If there is research to be read about something, you can bet your ass I've probably at least taken a look at it before I open my goddamn mouth about it. I don't really get away with spewing a lot of bullshit looking like I do, so I fact check myself constantly. That's a key. Or no, that's another item. That's right. It's not a necessary item if I remember correctly, but I still want to get it. Damn it. I don't think that was high enough. Okay, what's this story? On a stream you were modding where someone suddenly started spewing transphobic shit and I banned him. Yeah, would do the same. The streamer did nothing to support my decision and indeed reversed it after the stream, apologizing to the guy I banned and explaining to him that it was a sore point for me. What? And you politely told the streamer not to expect to see you ever again. Yeah, don't blame you. What did the person say? I'm just sort of interested for the sake of, like, getting a fine grain on it. I trust your judgment with regard to that shit, just for the record. I'm positive you did the right thing and that person was a dickhole for not going along with your opinion on that. Damn it. It's definitely fucking, like, surprising sometimes the shit people will say, especially if, like, you can tell that they're the sort of person that's just really never even thought about transgender issues at all. The meat saw hammer! This is a weapon for Bisumaru. And its gimmick is, yeah, this can change any item that appears after being an enemy into a dumpling to restore strength. So if you're low on hearts, you can switch to a Bisumaru and use the meat hammer, and you can get dumplings. Pretty cool. assume they have no fucking excuse for spewing transphobic shit. Ow! God damn it. Sorry. Now I'm really interested in what they said. like... Yeah, people say a lot of ignorant shit. I mean, if the streamer... The thing is, if you say you're not, you know, like, you're not a particular kind of bigot, but then you don't socially punish people for being that particular sort of bigot when you have the ability to do that and they're otherwise, like, benefiting from your company, I mean, you're complicit. Sorry, like, if you wanted to maintain your innocence, you can't do that. Like, if you let that shit happen when you literally have the power to stop it, or you reverse somebody's fucking decision to stop it, which is amazing, then, you know, yeah, that's complicity, I'm afraid. Damn it. Oh no, that's definitely worse than not saying anything. Like, if they just wanted to be totally passive about it, they would have just let you ban the person, but no, they decided to go against that. I don't think that's where I need to go. Did I mean, I got the meat saw hammer, I'm assuming that's all that's in there. I still gotta find that gold key, though. This dungeon is big. This is good jam, Urchak. And this is like the final evolution of this dungeon's music, too. It peaked kind of early. I remember the Ghost Toys Castle, like, it was basically not until the very end of it that we got all the elements of the music. It's good. It's definitely, like, I can't even pick a least favorite dungeon theme in Goemon. They're all so fucking good. Like, my favorites are my favorites by such narrow margins, like, honestly. Like, my favorite, I think, is the Gourmet Submarine Castle. But honestly, I think the Ghost Toys Castle would be in second place, but honestly, every other song is, like, tied for third. They're all good. Like, it's impossible. Can I go back? This incident sparked a discussion with someone completely unrelated about whether he should acknowledge trans people however they want to be acknowledged. Is that what the person was doing in the chat? I still kind of want to know what they said, or what they were doing. Were they, like, misgendering people, or were they just, like, saying some ignorant shit, or, like... There's a number of ways people can be transphobic, and sometimes people do, like, maybe misinterpret that, but like I said, I trust your judgment personally when it comes to this shit. I'm just kind of curious, because, like, I'm still learning about transphobia and all the many horrible ways that it manifests. Like, I'm very familiar with, like, misogyny, for example, and by virtue of that, kind of familiar with trans misogyny, which is, I know sounds like a made-up SJW word, whatever, but it just means that it's the sort of misogyny that trans women specifically experience, which does kind of vary in flavor from the kind that I experience as a cis woman, for example. you know, no one's making fun of me for looking or sounding like a man. Like, that's never a thing that's happened to me and probably will never be a thing that will happen to me. You know, I don't have to worry about being misgendered. I don't have to be concerned with a lot of things that trans women have to be worried about in their daily lives. I don't have to worry about being killed because of, you know, of my gender identity. That's fucking crazy to me that still fucking happens. Like, men just straight up killing women because they're trans, because they like found out that they were trans and they were attracted to them and that upsets them. Because God forbid, I don't want to get into that too much. I'm very off topic at this point. Let me read this here. He was saying that they shouldn't acknowledge trans people how they want to be acknowledged, so like he was insisting on misgendering people, is that what you mean? Started by saying he identified as an attack helicopter? Man, that's like, that was never funny in the first place, and is such an old joke at this point. I told him that was typically a phrase used for dismissing trans people or to ridicule them. He basically responded, "So what?" Man, fuck him. Fuck him. Yeah, what, like, how is that not blatantly transphobic? No, that's pretty cut and dry, dude. Like, come on with that. I think I might be lost. You said that wasn't welcome. He responded by claiming there are only 2 genders and you can't change them. Oh, okay, Ben Shapiro. Thank you. Thank you for your input. Much science, very reason. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Yeah, I would have banned the person at that point too. If only for spewing fucking misinformation in my chat. That's just straight up not how gender works. I don't know how else to say that. There's a mountain of literature on it. If you're talking that way, you're speaking from a place of like chimpy ignorance. I don't know how else to say that. But a lot of people get real mad when you suggest that gender is a spectrum or like a bimodal distribution rather than a binary. That really gets a lot of people's jimmies rustled. So, yeah. I don't think I need to be in here. Yeah, it's a weird hill to die on, and I do have a hard time understanding it, but I've also always been kind of ambivalent about gender to an extent. Like, in that, you know, I like being a girl, but it's like, if I woke up tomorrow and I was a boy, I could probably deal with it. I don't think I'd be happy about it, but like, I would move on with my life. I feel like a lot of people are way more rigid in their ideas of what particular genders are and what they're supposed to do and look like and all of that, which I guess I can understand in the abstract, but I do have a hard time understanding it, like, intuitively. I don't understand why people are so concerned with it. I guess that's maybe the way of putting it. Get up there. They're not very secure people. You can say that again. I can guarantee you anybody that's that upset about what other people are doing with their lives and bodies and otherwise is not very secure in their own lives. I'm too busy being happy and doing awesome shit to worry about people wanting to change genders. Honestly. And also, like, I have seen the amount of suffering and bullshit that trans people put up with at this point, having paid attention to it for a little bit. And I don't know how you can't have compassion for that. But, you know, I'm not a transphobe, so I guess I just don't understand it. It's just, it's like, it's sort of like, it's almost similar to, like, anti-Semitism for me. Not that those, I'm going in circles, not that those two sorts of bigotry are really all that similar. I just mean, like, basically, like, if you ever talk about, like, quote-unquote Jews, and you're not yourself Jewish or, like, very close to a Jewish person so that you would, like, have an opinion about Jewish people, like, if you're talking about Jewish people at all without a very good personal reason to be doing that, I assume you're anti-Semitic. Like, because otherwise, why do Jewish people have so much salience for you? Because that's just fucking weird. And I feel the same way about, like, I guess any sorts of conversations that involve, like, I suppose you could call it gender fluidity. Basically, the notion that gender is a spectrum, like, if somebody, like, immediately puts up resistance to that, like, I know that they're probably transphobic, because otherwise, why would you be doing that? Like, why would you be fucking throwing a big fuss over it if it didn't really matter to you? I mean, now that I'm saying that out loud, I guess that could apply to pretty much any bigotry. It's just, I guess they're more similar, those two, because, like, there are very few trans people in the world, and there's also relatively few Jewish people in America anyway. There are, of course, some places in the world where it's much more common to be Jewish, but in America, there's not that many Jewish people around. So if you're, like, going around talking a lot about Jewish people and you are not yourself Jewish or, like, in a Jewish family or something, I'm assuming there's something up there. And, like, something I don't want to be fucking dealing with. Sorry, I haven't looked at chat here. You said, that's funny. The guy who had nothing against trans people, nor in any way disrespected them, apart from insisting that people should be free to... He insisted that there was no empirical basis for gender fluidity. What in the fuck, man? Literally piles of papers. I'm not fucking with you. And it's not all, like, bullshit science either. Like, I've looked at these papers. It's not, like, they're not making shit up over here. It's just the way it is, man. Yeah, that would have involved him reading. That's you can't really depend on these folks to read. So... this is where I came from. I'm trying to get away from here. I probably missed something, but you know what? We're just gonna look around. Yeah, when you read up about shit and you're arguing from a place of evidence rather than emotion, you tend not to get so worked up about things. Like, I've gotten accused of being aggressive or otherwise on social media just because, like, I know my shit and I don't mince words. And that's perceived as, like, sharp and threatening, especially coming from a woman. That's, like, the fucking pearl clutching over my quote-unquote aggression is fucking silly. Is that a cat over there? think I see a cat, but I might be full of shit. And that's just purely projection insofar as I can tell. The only time I've ever been accused of being aggressive on Twitter is when someone was getting mad at me because I was beating them in an argument. That's like literally the only time it's ever happened on Twitter that someone called me aggressive. They were losing to a girl, and the best way they could think of to put me back in my place was to tell me that I was being angry, and that's discrediting my argument. Okay, honey. You know, meanwhile, you can't even keep your shit together tweeting at me. You're so fucking mad, but you're gonna tell me that I'm angry even though I'm over here just fucking high as can be, listening to music, arguing with your dumb ass. I'm fine. Like, for real? I can't even remember the last time I got, like, genuinely fucking upset over, like, a Twitter argument. I get, like, involved in them, sure, but I never look like how Goemon looks right here. It's just not like that for me. I can argue with people without getting really emotionally involved, because I do it so much, and it's like I said, it's part of my job. So, you know, but yeah, people are very quick to project, especially if they're losing an argument, and especially if they're losing an argument to a person that they consider beneath them on some level, which is indeed what happens when I'm arguing with fucking misogynists. It's like, you can't know more than me, you're a woman. I'm going to accuse you of things that are obviously not true, because that will make me seem superior to the people who are looking at this interaction, because that's another flaw with Twitter, is that it's public. It's like a staged argument, which is one of the reasons that I shit talk so much on it. I just treat it like a fucking 24/7 wrestling promo cut, because, like, why not? That's what you're fucking dealing with. And you're right about that, XK. Like, even if they did read the literature on it, it probably wouldn't change their minds, because they've already come to a particular conclusion. So, yeah. It's part of my job as an academic to be open to being wrong. But that's, you know, that's actually, you're fighting your own instincts to seek out your own incorrectness. It's like the opposite. I have an anti-confirmation bias. That's what you have to have as an academic and a scientist if you want to be any good at your job. Like, I go out looking for things that are going to make my thought patterns more difficult. And make generally speaking, my life harder. Because it makes my arguments better, and it makes my thoughts better. I'm completely fucking lost. I'm about to look up where this gold key is. I'm about to look up where this gold key is, and I'm hoping nobody wants to judge me for that. Alex? Yeah, remember that guy? There was some shit fuck that came in here when I was playing Planescape once. I had linked him an article to demonstrate a point that I was trying to make, and yeah, he said he read the first paragraph and determined it was quote-unquote drivel and did not read any more of it. You know, like an adult would do. Like, fuck off, dude. I've never said that about anything someone has linked to me in an argument to try and make a point. That's not how you fucking argue. That's childish and ridiculous. I guarantee you are not too good for any particular fucking viewpoint outside of, I guess, like, very narrow sets of circumstances. Like, if you're gonna, like, link me some just, like, straight up bigoted, you know, white nationalist who, you know, yeah, those things are beneath my consideration, I suppose. But generally speaking, if you're not totally fucking batshit, I'll listen to what you have to say and I will try to understand your perspective. And if I can tell someone is clearly not in that mindset and they just think they're right and they want to prove me wrong and they want to fucking, you know, do anything they can to win that argument and it's not about finding truth for them, usually if they're on Twitter at this point and I figure that out about them, I just immediately block them. Because there's no point in me interacting with that person. And odds are pretty good they're just gonna come back to fucking bother me eventually if I don't block them, so just fuck it. There's plenty of people out there on social media. If I block a tiny fraction of them, it's not really gonna hugely decrease the number of people I interact with. I spent the day arguing with people who truly believed what I needed to do was really understand racist, misogynists, and bigots to try and find common ground with them. I mean, I can understand that as an argument, but also, like, if you're talking about, like, just open fucking bigots, that's a really hard crowd to try and sell anything to, you know? I think I've said this before, like, recently. If you're, like, tits deep into red pill stuff, and you know, you're basically on that, like, you know, women or animals bandwagon, there's nothing I personally, as my cunty feminist self, can say to you to change your mind. I might be able to say some things that will, like, you know, take root in your head and maybe grow into some realization later on, but I'm not gonna be the person that turns you around on that shit. I'm too mean, and I'm too, like, I've had enough of it, basically. I'm fucking over it. Like, I'm not even angry about misogyny anymore, I'm bored by it. And I recognize it so immediately that it's like, as soon as I see it, it's like, okay, one of these again. Just, you know, fucking get out of my hair. You're gonna be like the rest of them, just don't. They're just so fucking predictable. Like, god damn it. It's boring. More than anything. It's like more boring than it is even dehumanizing at this point, which is kind of amazing. Alright, I gotta look up where this fucking key is. I'm sorry. I'm really, truly fucking lost here. Here we go. Okay. Go up the stairs. Oh, okay. I have to backtrack a lot, apparently. So I'm gonna do that. I don't really remember how I got in here. What's this way? I think it's that middle door. I'm just say here? No one else is going to rationalize you out of an emotional/cultural position. Yeah. You have to do that shit yourself, and anyone trying to change your mind is far more likely to make you double down. Yeah, that's true. That's why a lot of what I do these days is not like directly preaching about what people should be doing, but rather trying to plant seeds, like I said. It's like, I'm not trying to fucking change your mind immediately about anything. I'm trying to say my piece, and if what I've said causes you to think about yourself and reflect on your life and your thoughts and your behavior, then I have accomplished my goal. You know, how long it takes is sort of irrelevant. As long as there's progress being made, I can be happy with that. And I've found that's generally more effective than, you know, like woke conversion therapy or whatever. Like, most people just aren't gonna want to listen to that anyway. Like, you have to fucking consider where people are at and try to meet them there. And that's not what a lot of, like, slacktivist bullshit on social media is. You're just yelling at people like they're children and expecting them to acquiesce to your bullshit, and it's like, no one's going to do that. You wouldn't do it either if someone was doing that to you, and you need to stop it. You know, it's like a fucking theory of mind failure to think like that. I think this is, yeah, that's where the gold key is. I'm trying to go all the way back. What we do here is go back. Exactly, Urchak. No woke person is open to being red-pilled and vice versa. These are basically just two words for the same fucking thing on either side of the aisle. And it's such a fucking just up its own ass notion that you and you alone, you and your comrades are truly enlightened. And everyone else needs to get on your level. Fuck off. Like, how can you expect anybody to respond well to that? It's crazy. Like, yeah, I am the possessor of secret knowledge. Bow to me. It's stupid. Like, if you know some cool shit and you think it'd be useful to other people, that's cool, but like, I'm not selling Kool-Aid over here. I ain't got no Kool-Aid. If you want Kool-Aid, you don't have to make your own Kool-Aid. I don't have any to give you or to sell you. I have an a la carte situation. It's not a package deal. This is what I was looking for. Right here, I found it. Sorry, Alex. Your name is currently the same colors as Urchak. Urchak's in chat right now, and I think I attributed that no woke person is open to being red-pilled and vice versa to Urchak rather than you. Yeah, I think it's just luck of the draw, because I don't think, well, I think Urchak just has, like, random color, whereas yours is consistent because you, like, chose it, because that's something you can do when you have, like, Twitch Prime or whatever, which I do as well, so my name color is always the same. It is ghost type purple, if I had to name it. And yeah, Urchak's name is just a random color every time he comes into chat. Anyway, I was just mentioning that because, like I said, I think I attributed that chat message to him rather than you. I can't imagine it's that goddamn important, really. But like, you know, anyway. Hi, Worm. Is there a need for toxic masculinity here? Please let me know. I'm pretty full up on that at the moment. Were you offering any specific services? Like, you trying to beat somebody up for me? I can maybe take you up on that. I can think of some people. I think these are the foxes. Oh, fuck you. I've gotten in a number of Twitter fights about toxic masculinity before. And it's something I still struggle to explain correctly, because I mean, it's complicated. And also, because, like, god damn it, like, a lot of these folks in the humanities that discovered and named these things chose just, like, the most emotionally salient, shittiest possible names for these phenomena that make them totally fucking impossible to discuss with normal-ass people without them getting offended. Like, god damn it, if y'all had consulted even one psych person about some of these fucking names, we wouldn't have, like, fucking microaggression, for example. Microaggressions are a real behavior that absolutely happens and definitely harms people. However, if you were to say to someone who is microaggressed against you that that's what they've done, they're going to respond with hostility and other backlash effects because you just accuse them of being aggressive. It doesn't matter if that's not what a microaggression is. People hear that in the name and they respond to it accordingly. Holy shit. Why did you call this that? Why did you fucking call this behavior that? And I feel kind of similarly about toxic masculinity. It's like, could you not have chosen a different term to describe this? Like, god damn it. You didn't start anything, Worm. This is some shit that I've been on since that fucking Gillette commercial came out. Oh my god, the fucking salt over that. Holy fucking shit, dude. Yeah! I'll just openly say this. I don't support fucking, you know, wokeonomics bullshit from companies. I don't like that they're clearly trying to, like, push our moral outrage buttons in order to get more press for their brands. I think that's really gross, and I don't endorse it. However, if you watched the commercial, it wasn't, like... Unless you were nitpicking, there really wasn't that much wrong with it. There certainly wasn't anything wrong with the general message of, hey, fellow men, it seems we are engaging in some shitty behaviors. Perhaps we could correct these shitty behaviors together. Why don't we do that? And of course, the collective response to this was like, I mean, just nothing short of fucking, like, Al Bundy, just like... just a bunch of men just grunting and bitching and moaning about how, like, how dare you suggest that I may have behaviors or thoughts or beliefs or, you know, culturally entrenched anything that contributes to this phenomenon called toxic masculinity, which of course I am not a part of because I am not toxic, because I am a good person. Like, it's all just... cannot even fucking count the number of absolute man babies fucking complaining about this commercial. And like I said, you gotta separate the fucking fact that it was like Gillette trying to shove some social message down your throat from the actual content of the commercial itself. You should be able to separate those two things. And yeah, it's, God, male egos are so goddamn sensitive. I'm sorry, y'all. Holy shit. Holy shit. Can't even stand up to a strong breeze. I swear to God. One of the best fucking tweets I saw in response to the Gillette commercial was this woman saying, like, as a woman, I can't imagine what it's like to have an advertisement suggest that I could somehow improve myself. And that was an air horn moment for me. That was really fantastic. And like literally every ad for women is just like, hey, you could be skinnier. Hey, you could be prettier. Hey, you could be calmer. Hey, you could be more energetic. Hey, you could be happier. Like, I know a lot of advertising for men is similar, of course, but like it's worse for women to the point where there's a parody. Shit. There's this parody author. I think he's called like The Man Who Has It All or something like that, who basically, like, his whole shtick is he like takes the bullshit like advice that you'd read in like a fucking Cosmo magazine or something. God damn it. Or something like that, and basically just gender swaps it to demonstrate how absurd it is. It's like we don't tell men to do, you know, fucking half the things that we expect women to do. And it's sort of amazing when you just, a very simple gender swap can demonstrate that. And yeah, his shit's pretty funny. But anyway, I'm getting away from what I was talking about there. Yeah, that's why I was thinking about and talking about toxic masculinity. Or it wasn't really anything you did. Okay, so I got the gold key. That means that I can go back in here. Let me catch up on chat here. No, that's not where I meant to go. God damn it. Let me just stop walking and catch up here. Yeah, there's a lot of terms that are, there's a lot of fucking terms that have leaked out into the mainstream that needed to be sequestered in academia, or at least given a fucking colloquial name once it left academia. Things like microaggressions and toxic masculinity, but no. That's, you know, and I can't even say these terms. Like, they trigger people that much. Like, you can't even use this language anymore without someone immediately fucking strawmanning the shit out of you and assuming you're some screeching SJW. You can't even fucking use these terms. That's how shitty they are. They're just so emotionally salient and bad. I have no fucking idea what the point of naming these things, what they named them was, other than, like, to dramatize it. It's dramatized. I'm not saying that these aren't real problems, but I am saying that if you were actually interested in fucking solving them, you would have given it a name that would, you know, make it easy for people to discuss and bring up with people in, like, a sensitive way. Because, like, holy shit. Try telling someone they have microaggressed against you and let me know how that fucking goes. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. The term trigger did need to stay within psychiatry, but at this point, it's, you know, people have changed the name, or rather the meaning of it so much that it's like, I can't help but use it. Also, I don't really know what else to call it when, like, I use a particular term and it's like a light switch. Like, it totally changes the way somebody's speaking to me. It makes them, like I said, just immediately strawman me and put me in this, like, SJW bucket, and they don't want to fucking listen to a word coming out of my mouth after that. And it's like, okay, I guess I just have to talk around these terms since you're gonna be a fucking petulant asshole if I use them. Anyway, sorry, I was catching up on chat here. It's definitely a good thing to acknowledge the layer of cynicism just by virtue of the source being a corporation. I totally agree with that. I'm not saying that, like, you know, everybody should be listening to fucking Gillette on social issues. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the content of the ad. Yeah, the ad was not offensive. Like, it's, you know... yeah, it was kind of just, you know, it was very lazy in a way. And, like, I think they were trying to piss people off. So, yeah, and sure enough, everybody was talking about that fucking Gillette commercial, weren't they? Said, yeah, for sure, it's fucking frustrating that people always want to conflate everything. Like, the inability of people to engage at all with the messaging or broader implications if they're stuck on it being from a corporation, and the other way, people are unwilling to engage with the notion of capitalist cynicism if they think the messaging is positive. Yeah, that also happened. Like, there were a lot of people just straight up defending this commercial just because it had, like, a generally positive social message without considering the frankly terrifying implications of a fucking company pressing our moral outrage buttons to try and derive press and money for their shit. That's fucking disgusting, and I really hate it as a trend, but it would seem to be what's happening. So, you know, I tried to stay pretty even-handed on it, but with regard to, like, responding to people who wanted to talk to me about it. But, like, there's no way of getting around the fact that when you bring up the concept of toxic masculinity to most men, even if you don't use that term, there is this fucking, like, childish fucking backlash of, like, no, bitch, I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do, nothing wrong with me, you are a child if that's how you fucking respond to that, for real. Jesus fucking Christ. It's really just incredible watching grown-ass supposed men responding to that in that way. Like, holy shit. You gonna go flush your razor down the toilet, baby? Okay. You cry it out, whatever makes you feel better, honey. Fucking Christ, man. Like, again, I totally fucking understand being cynical and skeptical of any sort of fucking social message coming from a fucking company, but, like, it also, you know, like, it's trying to address a real problem there, or at least gesturing in the direction of solving that problem, which does actually exist and causes fucking, like, unmeasurable harm to both men and women. And, like, yeah. I recently tried to explain in a Twitter thread roughly what I consider toxic masculinity to be, if you were interested in my own fucking definition of it. It's a number of things. And also, something I forgot to mention when I was writing that thread is that women contribute to toxic masculinity as well by reinforcing all of these stereotypes and expectations that men be, you know, like, emotionally stoic and otherwise sort of endorsing and validating a lot of the shit that feeds into toxic masculinity as like a construct. Like, if you're contributing, or like if you're like shaming men for being emotional, if you are calling men weak because they aren't aggressive enough, if you're mocking men for being sensitive, if you're, you know, making fun of short dudes, that's a thing that fucking the left seems to totally forget is not okay when they're talking about Ben Shapiro, but making fun of men for being short is pretty textbook toxic masculine shit. Like, don't fucking do that. Holy shit. It's not okay because just because the person doesn't agree with you. Like, god damn it, I can't believe I have to say that. I don't like Ben Shapiro, but I don't need to fucking insult his appearance like a cunt to fucking, you know, debunk his arguments. Like, god damn it. Yeah, you shouldn't mock men for, you know, not being fucking studs, like, for not, you know, fucking a bunch of people. That's toxic masculinity. And like I said, women contribute to this too. I would argue it is mostly men who are socially reinforcing each other to uphold it, which is what the fucking Gillette commercial was about. And I do ultimately think that toxic masculinity as a thing is not going to be resolved until men collectively decide that they don't want that standard of manliness anymore. But it's gonna be a while, so, you know, I just try to say my piece, not be too much of a cunt to people that don't deserve it. But like, seriously, if your fucking reaction to that commercial was like, I'm gonna flush my razor down the toilet and I'm never gonna buy Gillette product again because me, how dare you suggest that I could possibly change my own behavior for the better and maybe encourage other people around me to do the same? How dare you suggest that? There's nothing wrong with me. Fuck you. Like, god damn it. Could you seriously be any worse? Alright, I'm gonna stop with that. Wasn't I supposed to be talking about the internet? Like... and for the record, I don't think that all male egos are that sensitive, certainly. I really don't. And it's not that women's egos aren't sensitive either, it's just, like I said, like... We are told all of the ways that we can be better constantly. And it's just sort of like expected that we listen to it and acquiesce to that. Like imagine if I got that upset over like, you know, I'm trying to think of a parallel. I can't really. I guess just the notion of a woman getting upset because an ad suggested that she could be doing better is so fucking stupid. Like, for real. And here's the thing about, like, people like to, you know, the same men who are flushing the razors down the toilets and generally just being fucking children about this. They like to bring up, like, what about toxic femininity? So, like, there's a number of, like, female typical behaviors that you could maybe lump into a label called toxic femininity, but the reason that there's not an exact direct parallel to that in women is because we don't have this, like, construct of womanliness that's so important to us that will literally kill people to preserve the integrity of it, that is the nature of manhood. That's why, like I was saying earlier, trans women get killed when men find out that they are trans or otherwise. Like, there was a woman that was fucking killed because she was walking down the street with a couple of friends, and one of these dudes flirted with her, and his friends mocked him for flirting with her because they knew she was trans. And she got attacked and killed for that. Like, what do you fucking do with that? Like, holy shit, that's insane. Like, men will literally kill people to preserve their manhood. There has not been a woman, literally ever, that has killed someone to preserve her womanhood. That's never been a thing, ever. So, hopefully that helps draw a distinction between why, if there is a toxic femininity, which, you know, I guess, it's not the same thing as toxic masculinity. Additionally, this is something that men outside of, like, social justice circles don't seem to realize. Women do a remarkable amount of policing each other's behavior. To the point where, you know, we're doing a much better job of correcting whatever toxic femininity may have existed in us on the left than folks are otherwise. Because women in social justice circles are familiar with internalized misogyny. They're aware of their own impulses to try and, you know, tear other women down and otherwise not treat them fairly because they have been socialized and brought up to think that women are inferior, even if you are one. And, like, we know that, like, in social justice circles, that's a thing that we check ourselves on before we participate in conversations and as we're existing in life. That's a thing. And, so yeah, don't you worry your pretty little head if you're super concerned about, you know, women not checking their oh so dangerous toxic femininity. It's not... we're working on it, okay? I promise women are working on their toxic femininity way more than fucking men are working on their toxic masculinity. I fucking promise. Man, I can't find this fucking door! It's like the game heard me. Sorry. Let me catch up on chat here. Yeah, of course it hurts to be criticized. Absolutely, I get that. But that's just, like, to just completely retreat into defense mechanisms instead of using that as an opportunity to, like, introspect and improve. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that other than it's childish. That is how children respond to things. If you're an adult, you take critique, you incorporate it into your fucking worldview, you consider it, and you change for the better if you determine that's something you can do. That's what adults do. Like, if you respond to the notion that you could be doing better with basically 2 middle fingers and like, I don't know what to say to you other than grow up. The part with the dude stopping the other dude from catcalling was legit good messaging. I've literally been in that situation where dumbass friends have rolled down their window and yelled out at chicks, and I was like, listen, you bitch ass, don't do that in my car. Thank you. Thank you. Like, goddamn. I would love if I saw more men stopping other men from fucking bothering me. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Like, I can handle myself, honestly. Unless I'm, like, alone in a dark alley at night, which I would never be, I can handle myself just fine. If we're in broad daylight, and, like, yeah, I don't have any, like, fear associated with, like, embarrassing a man. Because that's a scary thing if you do it to the wrong person and they're capable of hurting you and are in the position to do it. You can't just go talking shit to whoever you want when you look like I do. Not all the time, so, I gotta pick a time and a place, but, like, I don't know, last time I got, like, meaningfully hollered at in public, it was, I was in Atlanta, and I was, like, walking a fucking, like, I think I was walking to, like, what's that fucking Thai place near where I used to live, Alex? I can't remember what it's called. Point is, I was walking there, and there were these, like, 3 dudes, I think, and one of them fucking started hollering at me. I don't even remember what he said. But what I said back to him was, don't nobody want you, motherfucker, stop. And his friends fucking cackled at him. And yeah, he fucking didn't bother me anymore. How about that? Tin drum, yeah. I was walking a tin drum and that happened. I have not been meaningfully catcalled in any sense since then. Which is another thing I've noticed, actually, since the Me Too movement popped off. I haven't been catcalled. Not once. I have also not been grabbed by the waist to be moved in a crowd. That is another thing that has specifically bothered me that has, all of a sudden stopped. Funny that. Funny that. But yeah, it would be nice if, like, instead of me having to potentially, like, endanger myself to shit talk some dude to get him to fucking lay off of me, if that dude's 2 friends would have been like, hey, dude, you're making an asshole of yourself, leave her alone, like, instead of me having to do that, I think that would be a cultural improvement. Like, I think that would be better. I'm not saying that I need people to white knight for me, I clearly don't, but it would be more effective socially if these dudes' friends corrected him than if some, random lady on the street that he obviously doesn't respect tries to fucking embarrass him to get him off of her shit. So, like, Sorry, let me keep reading here. If you look at it from my own perspective, just selfishly, it's fucking gross to know that friends around me have that kind of mentality or might be prone to doing that kind of shit at any given time. Yeah, like Jesus Christ, dude, I can guarantee you no chick finds that attractive or appealing. Yeah, literally, there, like, 0% of relationships have ever started with a catcall. I've never, ever seen a woman respond positively to that. And it's like, generally speaking, when somebody does a behavior, they have to be rewarded for it in some manner in order to continue doing it. And I think it's just about the attention. They just want the attention from that woman, even if it's brief, even if it's hostile. They just want the attention, and that's fucking sad. Like, I can't even imagine that. Being that desperate for validation from the opposite sex that you're willing to fucking harass them just to get that attention, even if you know it's not going to result in anything positive or lasting. Like, it's fucked up. Anyway, I thank you for coming by, Worm. I appreciate your perspective. You didn't derail my stream. I really didn't have much of a plan in mind for this stream. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the internet and play some, like, old meme music. Which I've mostly done that. When I get back from the break I want to take, I'll probably do that after this boss. I'll talk more about, like, modern internet shit and the future, I suppose. I've talked a little bit about how the internet used to be, so. Yeah, I would agree it's about power, Urshak. Power and, like, to some extent, just reward, like, validation, just the attention. I can't imagine it, but yeah, I made her walk faster, I made her turn and look, you know, I scared her. If you get off on that, you're fucking sick and you need to fix yourself. You're fucking pathetic. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, I'm ranting. It's fine. If you don't like me ranting, why the fuck are you here? Like, Jesus. Yeah, I talked about that. Specifically, I tried to draw an important distinction, I think, between kids who grew up with the internet versus kids who grew up with social media specifically, because I was the former and not the latter, and I think it really affected my development. And statistically, if you, like, look at the research on Gen Z and their anxiety, depression, self-harm, shit like that, as a function of how much they use social media, you can see a very, very direct relationship there that should fucking shock you, honestly. Like, if you're not alarmed by those fucking graphs showing, like, the rises in, like, you know, self-harm in preteen girls, for example, is just up. So up. Like, I don't know how you can look at that and not be alarmed. It's yeah, like I said, you look at that relative to how much these kids use social media, it's a very strong relationship. And, like, as far as correlations go in psychology, you're kind of lucky if you get any sort of relationship above, like, I don't want to get too much into what the stats mean, but it's a strong relationship to the point where you can, like, considering other factors, you can assume some causality there. And also, I do think there have been, not necessarily experiments, but quasi-experiments wherein people were looking at, you know, kids living similar lives that were varying just in their social media intake and able to look at, you know, because you can't really do an experiment. Like, a true experiment is where you manipulate all the variables. So, like, you would have to be, you know, basically banning this group of children from social media and forcing a bunch of it on this group of children and then seeing what happens. But that's not, you know, no one's gonna volunteer for that study, nor would it probably be ethical. So, like, you just have to take what's naturally occurring and try to draw inferences from that, which is a lot of the time what you have to do in human research, especially with children, because they're a protected population and you can't do a lot of studies on them. What was I reading here? Yeah, that's crazy, Urchak. Yeah, kids are entering high school never having known a world before World of Warcraft. Yeah, no, I agree with that. There was an era of the internet before social media that kind of recalls nostalgic feelings like message boards and communities and shit like that, IRC. And then post-social media, all of that coalesced into more concentrated and unified areas. Yeah, people got more tribal, they were able to, broadcast their messages and find people like them and, gather together for better or worse and yada yada. Yeah, I miss the early days before social media caught on. I really liked message boards. I met my husband on a professional wrestling message board. It's too good to make up, man. Fuck, that same message board has spawned like 3 or 4 marriages at this point. Like, happy fucking marriages. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I miss that. had more accountability there. Social media was the moment that people found a way to profit from human socialization. That's not wrong. Not wrong. And it's scary because we're extremely social animals. And yeah, one of the biggest things I learned taking that cognitive psych class last semester was that, like, you can't even compare social stimuli to other kinds of stimuli when you're talking about how it affects humans. We have, like, a completely different, it would seem like, neural categorization for social cues versus other cues. They're that important. They will distract you more than regular cues that aren't social. Oh, this. I hated this. I very much hated this. Because the frame rate sucks. And you have to make some, like, precise jumping. Oh, God. You see how fucking... Oh, Lord. This is gonna be messy. You're probably right about that, Worm, about Facebook doing all kinds of studies like this without people's consent. Probably. I won't pretend that that's probably not happening. Because it probably is. I guess I get off here? Yeah, it was interesting about the pro wrestling forum and the people that attracted. I think if you're a fan of pro wrestling, it kind of says a number of things about you on like a deep emotional level that I could see being like a commonality with someone, like, to the extent that you could build a relationship on it, which probably sounds fucking just north of bonkers to people who don't like professional wrestling, but there's some merit to that, I swear. Is that a cat? I couldn't tell. No, there's just dumplings. That's a good way of putting that. For lack of a better term, internet socialization went into a downward spiral once the normies joined the virtual town square. Fucking normies! But, like, really though. I think because, like, you had folks that were not necessarily introverted, that were not necessarily interested in, complicated conversations, trying to use the same medium when in reality they're more reliant on things like facial cues and tone of voice and stuff like that than like introverted people or people on the autism spectrum, which is another audience that the internet will generally attract. There's a lot going on here. But I don't know how much of it is important. It might be none of it. It might be none of it. Starting to think it might be none of it. The opposite of autism? I think this is the boss. Return the red plates by hitting them back. Yep, this is the boss. I'm gonna chill out here for a second. Yeah, that's a good opposite Williams syndrome. You're like you're essentially like too trusting of people. I don't know if people with Williams syndrome are more sensitive, but the thing is, Worm, that actually describes autism. The reason that people who are on the autism spectrum have trouble making eye contact is because it's too intense for us. It's not that I don't, on some level enjoy looking people in the eyes sometimes, it's just, it's a lot for me. So I generally won't do it except, every once in a while. Because it's overwhelming. And I notice all of that shit too. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't so much sound like autism, being very sensitive and detecting people's moods and thoughts by facial and body language cues. That does not sound like it, unless you're a weirdo Aspie that spent like 10 years in retail and now you can do that. But if you're not, then you're probably not trained like that. Okay. I'm gonna fight this boss. That's the plan. Here we go. Bye, Worm. Have a good night. And again, you were not bothering me. I did not have a particular topic I was trying to stay on. Damn it! It's hard to tell those plates are red, by the way. You can like barely see it. It took me forever the first time because I was waiting for red plates and all you see are these like outlines. God damn it, what the fuck? Should I be a different character? I generally consider this like Suzuki's Dungeon. What the fuck? I guess I need to start swinging sooner. Let me try that. There we go. I think this is the same boss theme from the last boss. So I think these two have the same theme, but the other ones have unique themes. Which, I don't really blame them for reusing this one. It's a very good boss theme. This is a very Zelda boss, right here. projectiles with melee hits. Damn it. I got a lot of health, fortunately. Damn it! What are you doing next? Oh, what the fuck? Oh, I remember this. It's like a bomb thing. Yeah, okay. I don't get why it does that. Like it's calling it shot or something like that. Why it like comes down to me like that. Ow. Damn it! I didn't see him. Ah. Damn it! Ah. Hey. Stop. Miracle Star.
Ooh.
Oh boy. It's a green one. Sharon. Oh no, my sweet, sweet Sharon Robot. Without Sharon Robot, we can't keep the power to the barrier that is blocking with a just a K. Passage to Kyushu. I guess that's it for you. Why don't you just give it up? You guys, Peach Mountain. Why are you blocking anyone from going to Kyushu? What are you planning? Leave me alone! Stop frightening me like that! Oh, shit! She here! Oh no, another weirdo! I can't fucking believe it! Who are you calling a weirdo? I don't blame you for calling Dancin' a weirdo, but me? I guess you need to get to know me better. No, not really. As cute as a kitty cat, la la. Yet as dignified and beautiful as a lily, la la. Yes, I am none other than Kitty Lily. Oh, Jesus Christ. Spring Breeze Dancin' and Kitty Lily. These are the antagonists of the game. You guys must be the circus clowns Dancin' was talking about.
You got that wrong. We're no clowns. You guys use illusions, but you're never actually here. Stop being so chicken and come out.
Oh my, I'm surprised you don't know. A big star like me will be swamped with fans, making things unsafe. La la.
I've never heard of you.
Ooh, before you know it, you'll be coming to see us on stage every day. La la. Oh, I know. Why don't I be kind to tell what? Why don't I be kind to tell you something helpful? Okay. Kyushu has already become our stage. La la.
What did you say?
Hey, that's great. Does that mean I can return now? Sure. But before you go, I'm out of foundation. Get the usual best for me, okay? Alright, but you always take forever to pay me back. Well, bye-bye. I may or may not have been trying to go for a great fairy laugh.
I hear that Kyushu is in great trouble. Okay, why don't we head for Kyushu right now? Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody picking out my foundation for me. That sounds like a tall order to get correctly. I guess maybe he was just used to doing it. I need to walk my happy ass out of here, so I can't flute inside. Okay, I've been playing for like a few hours here. I'm not quite tired yet. I'd like to get a little bit more done. I think I can, I think I can get like 1 or 2 things done. Like I might be able to get to the festival village. That could maybe be my goal for the rest of the night. And then the next stream, I'll be doing my favorite portion of this game. I should say the next time I stream Goemon, I'm probably gonna finish Wolf Among Us next week, but the next time I stream Goemon, I'll be playing through my favorite segment in the whole game, and I'm very excited about it. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's lovely. And I'll be talking about gut health, because it's the gourmet submarine castle. And it'll make sense when you see it. To be honest, I was thinking of making more food. You're starting to realize you're a midnight chef. That's not really a problem. As long as, like, if you're staying up late enough to where it's, like, not an issue that you've eaten that late, like, it can sometimes be bad for your stomach as far as acid goes, and also bad for your stomach as far as, or rather bad for you because you can, gain weight doing that. But if you're, like, not gonna go to bed for another, like, 2 or 3 hours, I think it's fine. I'm actually kind of hungry too, but I don't really have time to eat over the break. I don't even have anything, like, quick I could eat either. It's all shit I would have to, like, reheat and fuss with. So I guess I'll suck it up for now. I can eat later. Fucking music is so good. The music in the festival village is very pretty. I am hoping I can get there tonight. I don't remember exactly what I have to do next. Oh, hey. I don't remember what's in here. I think it's something you actually need later on in the game, but I do not remember. Okay, now that I'm back in town, which damn it, I could have dragoned here, and I didn't because I'm dumb. Alright. Let's take a break. Wanted to wait for a perfect break in the music. Alright. Got some very fun music for y'all here. I hope you are hyped. You should be. You are in for a treat. Alright. I will be back in a few minutes. Please enjoy the meme music. And I will return.
Harlem Shake.
There's a weird fucking stray cat outside. It looks like grandma, the fucking thing. Hey, get the fuck out of here. I don't even know if that's a fucking cat. Blink, motherfucker.
Hi. Okay, now I'm actually back. God, look at it. beautiful. Oh, fuck. So I hope you enjoyed my, my mega meme and anthology mashup. I was trying to go in, like, approximate chronological order of memeitude, starting with, you know, Rickroll. You had to start with the Rickroll. I feel like that was, you know, you have to do that. And then, you know, hamster dance. Tune. Oh, so many things. So many things I have enjoyed in my life. Oh, fuck. I'm just gonna stare at this for another few seconds. Is this art? Did I make art? I would argue at least the song was art. I was actually kind of proud of that. Like how I finagled some of those transitions just by like fucking around with Audacity. Some of it sounded pretty alright. I was kind of proud. For my first attempt at mixing shit together, you know, for some fucking amateur hour Neil Cicerega stuff. Not bad. God, it's like a seizure. Just look at it. I had also not seen that jab at Drake via Rick Astley's dancing, and it's real funny. I mean, it's proof that anybody can dance, really. It's just, like, anybody can dance. It's really just a question of whether or not you're willing to potentially look stupid. Which a lot of people aren't. But you know what? There is no more freeing a feeling than dancing without being concerned about that sort of thing. And I would encourage anybody to do it. Like, if you're feeling it, like, it doesn't fucking matter what you look like. You're gonna look good. It's gonna look genuine, and it's gonna look good. Like, say what you want about Rick Astley here, but I don't think he's doing a terrible job here. I can tell he's having a good time. You know, he's not completely rigid. Like, I'm for it. Let me start taking these things off. Oh my god. Blink, motherfucker. Okay. It's just... Oh, Jesus. Did anybody catch, like, everything? Those were some pretty, like, mainstream memes. For the most part. The last song is just a song from the Initial D soundtrack that is, like, in current meme rotation. Still, so. The Screaming Cowboy was also relatively recent. It's like a couple years ago, I guess, at this point. I love that shit so much. It fucking kills me. Like, with the video, I will just consistently, completely lose my shit watching that. I don't know what it is, man. It's just one of those things that, like, hits all of my buttons. All of my funny buttons all at once, and I just, like, fucking just cackle like an idiot when I see that Screaming Cowboy shit. Oh my god, it's so funny. Jesus fucking Christ, it is so funny. Alright. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll have to, like, post that separately. Just the whole, like, with all the Systematic jive posting and all of it. God. Oh, shit. Oh wait, did I fuck up? I fucked up. Well, okay, let's see if I can... I had to go to Kyushu. And I just remembered why I had to do that. Well, and not only because that's where they said I had to go, but... Festival, Temple, Castle... Yeah, I think that's where I want to go. Would that be easier? Actually, well, yeah. Alex, I'm like specifically interested if you thought I did a good job or not. Because I know you're so much better at this than me, and I was just doing my best. I tried. Ah, fuck! You might have to hear it again and tell me where I could have improved. Because that was a lot of fun, honestly. That was a lot of fun. I did not use a beat mapper. Was that obvious? I was doing it by ear. I imagine some shit was off, for sure. Just by virtue of me not having used a beat mapper. What about it was so, like, off that I wasn't using a beat mapper? Like, I want to know what specifically tipped you off to the fact that I wasn't doing that. Man, I don't remember how to get to fucking Kyushu. I think it's this away. Like, it sounded good to me as far as, like, when I was actually trying to get shit to blend together. The tempo changes and the overlays. I guess I don't quite know what you mean by that. We may have to have, like, an in-person conversation about this. I mean, there were songs going in between each other that, like, there were abrupt tempo changes, but I tried to compensate for that with the transitions by doing one thing or another. Here we go. Yeah, we might just have to talk about this next time I see you. Because, like, that really wasn't too difficult. I mean, I had done some, like, minor...
Hey, Andy!
Music editing for my videos, but nothing quite like that. Yeah. Oh, you missed my song, Urchak! I made it! I made it with my own two hands and you missed it. You're horrible. I'll post it, don't worry about it. It was a lot of fun though. And there were a lot of fucking jifes on the screen.
Oh, Goemon. Omitsu. Well, what are you doing here? Well, I'm on my way to Kyushu on a delivery.
What? All the way from Uedo Town to Kyushu?
Yes, that's right. Ever since our business was featured in Gourmet magazine, the phone just won't quit ringing for deliveries. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm in a hurry. See you later. went through all that trouble to get this far. Did Omitsu just come all this way with those dumplings?
Maybe she's a lot tougher and stronger than she seems. What are we talking about? We should be headed for Kyushu, where the Peach Mountain guys went. Omitsu, you shouldn't be going to Kyushu right now. You ain't need to be scared of Omitsu. She fine. Fucking sky looks so cool.
Omi-chan!
We have a problem here. Kyushu is separated from Japan. And has disappeared. What should we do? That's easy. We've got to go after Omitsu. Or should I say, go after Kyushu. But how? I know. When lost for answers, we should ask the fortune teller.
I see. You're like specifically recommending I go talk to Pulazuma. Happy to do it. Yeah, Omitsu's just a kind small town girl. Works in a coffee shop. Delivers dumplings. She ain't scary. So, like, if I were using a beat mapper, like, See, because I couldn't figure out a way to make something go from one tempo to another tempo over a particular span of time in Audacity. I don't know if that's a thing I'm able to do in that program, but it's also just, like, freeware. So, like, it's not ideal for, you know, professional-ass music editing. I think I did pretty good for my first shot with some free fucking software. I may have to look into it a bit more, but honestly, I have a fucking YouTube script written, and I should probably be devoting some of this creative energy to fucking filming that and editing that video instead of dicking around with various and sundry other art projects. I think I'm just trying to avoid filming, which so far is my least favorite part of the process. It is still difficult to convince myself to go on a camera. It's getting a little easier, and I'm getting a little more comfortable doing it, but you don't know if software can do that, then, like, how would you do that manually? You can't set song tempos and time stretching based on tempo. So are you saying it's like... Not, okay, so you're saying that software can't do it. Okay, sorry, I misread that. I was like, that sounds like something some professional-ass music editing software would have. That seems like a pretty essential thing. Yeah, so I guess I was working around the limitations of the software. Which, you know, all things considered, I think I did okay with. I don't remember what I made plasma. Oh, no, I remember.
Howdy. Welcome to the Plasma Fortune Teller. I will solve your worries for 10 Ryo. Plasma.
Let's do it.
Okay, well, let's get started. In a cold region to your north, there is the Mount Fear, where it snows. There you shall meet someone who will be of great help to you, Plasma. However, you must first go to Oedo Town and undergo one training session, Plasma.
I see. I already did that, thank you. Worry for the rest of your life. Fuck you, Plasma. Honestly, all skill aside, I hope it was fun. My meme song. I was trying to inspire joy. I hope I did that. Who'd you say was not very sanguine? Plasma? Are you making a blood joke? I'm sorry, it's a little, I'm not quite on my shit tonight. I got you though, I'm with you. I get it. I'm picking up what you're laying down. I can't remember who I am supposed to get. I'm gonna actually use the inn, because I am very low in health. Welcome! What brings you in today? Which room would you like? May as well ball out, who gives a shit? You're in for the night of your life! Yep, let's do it. They all look different, the rooms. Look at that! People fanning you while you sleep, wow. Yeah, the bronze room is like a fucking cot in a dirty looking fucking room. The silver room looks just like a standard, like, decent hotel. And then, yeah, the gold one is that. You have, like, people fanning you as you sleep. I don't remember how much health each of them recuperates, but I got money to blow. It's alright. I think the person who needs to train me might be in one of these places. Oh, Oh, this is the Lord's house. I hear Caillou's also having some problems. I'm glad I'm not the Lord of Caillou. This is Goemon's place. No. Someone new has moved into the house next door, but he's rebuilding the inside in a very strange way. You should drop by and see for yourself. Next door. Yeah, this guy.
Good of you to come. This is the muscle training gym where you can train to develop your muscles. Once you're done training here, you'd be able to simply push the metal box. Are you ready to start training?
Arbitrarily telling me that I need to be going on to do this. Well, you need a head full of thorns and a mouth shaped like an upside down V. You know, because reasons. I remember I've loaded this up a while ago. Hold on. Where's the blue hair? Oh no! Hold on, I gotta find it. Now it's just pissing me off. Wait. Yeah.
You gotta have blue hair.
Oh shit! I fucking completely forgot about the Strong Bad Techno song. How? How did I do that? I wanted to play that. God damn it. I'd have probably, oh man, I don't even know what I would have kicked off of that playlist. Oh man. Oh no. I'm so disappointed in myself. Shit. I'll have to play it in the future. Maybe for like a stream where I'm talking about electronic music or something, I can play it for that. I love that song. It's so good. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that though. I'm so disappointed in myself.
The system is down.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Good of you to come. Blah blah muscles. Yep, let's do it. Alright, let me show you to the training gym. Now then, let me explain the training. Several oyakatas will come out of the holes around you. For a fixed period of time, you must make sure your balloon is not popped. And you do this by throwing metal boxes at the oyakatas. Aim with your control stick and throw the metal boxes with the B button. Try your best to keep the balloon from popping. Ready, set, start! Now, if I remember correctly, you kind of just have to like... Because that's what causes them to go back down all the way. Shit!
shit, 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 shit! I had that one close call, but that was it. I remembered how to do this. There was a learning curve, but as I've mentioned, I've played this game before.
Way to go! Now you can call yourself a muscle man. Goemon obtains the sudden impact magic powers. By consuming some money, you will be able to move a heavy thing. You will be able to move heavy thing for a specific period of time. Furthermore, while the magic power is in effect, you will have double the attacking power. However, be careful as damage from the enemy will also double.
So, how anime do you think this is? Because whatever you're thinking, it's probably not anime enough. Are you ready? He literally goes Super Saiyan. He literally fucking does that. It's not even like it's such a direct fucking parallel that you pretty much can't call it anything else. He goes Super Saiyan. It's great. Yeah, man, I loved Homestar Runner. Oh my god. I don't know if I would enjoy it as much if I went back and saw it now, because, like, when I liked it, I was, like, 13. I had a very different sense of humor then than I do now. Not that much different. I'm sure I could still derive some enjoyment from it, and I would get some nostalgia out of it, too, which would be nice, but... Yeah. I was a fan. I had a Strong Bad hoodie in high school. I, like, wore to death. Wore it till it was, like, faded and sad. That shit was great. Is that just a dumpling over there? It looks like it's just a dumpling. You were 22, living in a party house while working at Disneyland. I see. Is that a golden one? Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Or no, it's silver. It's just yellow in here. Dope. Getting places. Getting places. Nothing is better than strong bad emails with a 3-day hangover. Oh, Christ. I've never been hungover for, like, multiple days before. My body's not even capable of consuming enough alcohol to do that, I don't think. I would throw up first. I guess that's good. It's like a defense mechanism. Is that just a dumpling? Yeah. I don't really want anything over there enough to do that. Fuck! What's over there? I don't need that. Never go drinking with Disney princesses. That's a fun thought. Disney princesses are all just lushes. They just the second they're off the clock, don't even change out of the costume. Just fucking open the wine. So, like, what's over there, though? I bet there's something over there. I'm gonna have to go over there. Might be another fortune cat. You never know. Oh, it just looped back around and I'm dumb. Okay, cool. Fuck me. I have to do all of that again. Okay. It's fine. If I had not played this game so many times before, I would maybe not be so good at its platforming, but I'm okay at it. Anytime I fuck it up real bad, it's usually because the camera was not cooperating or there was something else wrong. Or just like some fucking glitch. Like I'm thinking about when the first dungeon I did where I was trying to get Goemon to hop on this fucking platform from a moving thing in the water and he just wasn't getting any fucking distance until the camera was behind him. And then he got distance. enough to get where he needed to get. And that's a quirk of the game. There's not much I can do about it, really. Yes. The Festival Village. This music's great. I'm gonna wander around here for a few minutes, but I got everything done that I was trying to get done this stream, and I'm not trying to rush anything, so trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about the internet. I suppose just some words about the future. I am deeply concerned about how social media is pitting us against each other, particularly in a political way. That makes us more, excuse me. It increases antipathy between people on the left and people on the right. Antipathy is, I guess the opposite of empathy. So, like, you mean ill will toward people that don't agree with you. That measure, insofar as scientists do measure it, of antipathy toward the opposite or other political party, is at an all-time high. And I don't doubt that that's because of social media, perhaps even predominantly. We're just given, like, constant opportunities to dunk on people we don't like and exalt people we do like and paint these pictures of one group being good and one group being bad. I mean, yeah, it is a kind of misanthropy. It's just antipathy is the word they use in the research, so that's what I'm using, like, in case you wanted to look it up. Is that a fish one? Damn. I don't know what's up with that. I'll buy some metal armor though. That fucking fish is really funny. Look at that. Fish rice balls. So, I'm comforted by the fact that social media seems to be garnering a reputation as, being something that's both addictive and bad for you. Which I think is for the most part true. Like, I've said that I don't think I have, like, a problematic relationship with Twitter. That doesn't mean my life is better with it. Honestly, I would probably be happier if I didn't use it, but I don't know. It's the town square. That's what I've called it before. That's kind of how I think about it. And it's like, yeah, you can avoid the town square if you would like, but you can't really pretend that that conversation isn't happening. It's the equivalent of putting your head in the sand. And that's not really the kind of person I am. So, let's stargazy pie. Is that worth looking up immediately? Like... Right now, Urchak, this better be good. This better be good. Okay, that's relevant. You win. This is real. Apparently. Yeah, Google that for yourself. I don't really feel like, doing the whole rigmarole to actually show you guys this. Yeah, I guess the fish rice balls are not that outlandish. I'm sorry I doubted you. That was indeed very relevant. Why is it called that? Stargazy pie. Mr. Mokube, who lives around Mount Fuji, is actually my elder brother. I have been hearing rumors that he has further developed his skills. If you use the pipe my brother makes, there should be no problem getting through. To destroy the rocks behind or blocking at Mount Fear. I see. I might have to go up Mount Fuji again. That is the implication. North of this village, you'll find the stone circle where the mysterious stone pillars stand. However, the circle does not mean that there's a bunch of other people in a circle. I appreciate the clarification. Thank you. Oh yes, every single night is a festival, a festival, a festival. Yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 this is where you're supposed to ask me to stop getting so excited. It's party town. They party. They live to party. They worship the party. They turn party into every part of speech. It's a noun. It's an adjective. It's a verb. It's some Andrew WK shit up in Festival Village. Everybody party.
This is the Festival Village of Hutsu. Even the cold snow is blown away with our burning energy. We blast the cold away with our festival power.
That's kind of cute. They got party power.
Festivals reflect the heart and soul of the Japanese.
If your blood's not pounding quickly, or your blood's not dancing, one can't really consider you to be Japanese. What did I say? What did I say about this game and its theme? Nippon is good. Japanese people are good. I don't know, I wouldn't say it's like necessarily like nationalism. I don't think it's that extreme of a theme, but it's definitely patriotic. It's not like, other than the fact that Spring Breeze Dancin' and Kitty Lily are trying to Europeanize all of the places that they corrupt. There's not really a like they're promoting in-group, but they're not dunking on out-group, which I think is for the most part fine. Like, if you can find ways to promote your own in-group and be positive about whatever community you have, you know, country, whatever, without turning that into we're awesome and everyone else sucks, then I think you've accomplished something good. And I would say overall this game is pro-Japan, but it's not really anti-anything. It's really subtext, the like anti-European sentiment specifically, but they're not really anti-America in this game, which is sort of interesting. Like the battle robot, he works in Hollywood, and they don't say that like it's like a bad thing. They're trying to say like, oh, he's fancy, he works in Hollywood. Like, that's kind of the implication there. Anyway, sorry, that was kind of a tangent, but it's true. If you're paying attention, it's a very strong theme of the game, and I've never really seen anybody point that out as they're playing it.
It has been very cold for several days now. The main route leading to Mount Fear is now covered in ice, making it very difficult. But it shouldn't be nearly as difficult to climb if you use a ladder and climb the alternate route around the back.
Alright. I'm gonna go to Mount Fuji. That's gonna be the last thing I do for the evening. Upgrades our weapons to like level 2 or whatever, so they hit a little bit harder and they can destroy blocks. Hello again, son. Welcome back. You missed the meme Megamix. It was wonderful. I think it was wonderful anyway. I had enough fun making it that I'm okay with it not being great. But I think it was fun. I mashed a bunch of like meme songs together to make one song, and they were like roughly in order from like oldest to newest, and it was pretty cool. Oh man, my throat is starting to get really scratchy and sore, to the point where if I continue to talk, I'm gonna start coughing. I don't really know what's up with that. It's fine, son. I'm not chiding you for missing it. I am planning on posting that. Because I put effort into it. No! Okay, I was like, did I lose a life? No. I fell into a volcano. You would think that would result in a loss of life, but no. Oddly enough, no. Okay, Mokube. Upgrade my shit. This is an N64 game. Well, 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 long time no see. What now? We've come for a cup of coffee. Please improve our weapons. So that's what you've come for. Okay, stand back and I'll show you what my training has done for me. Cool shit. Woo! How's that for improvement? There you go. The weapons belonging to Goemon and allies improved to level 2. Yai can now use the sword shield. Cool. That is this, which is very nice for blocking projectiles. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's get back to town and save. Festival Village, yeah, it's up that way. I'll just go there. Urshak, I read an article today that I think I still have it open in the tab. Let me see. Oh, it's a Vox article about Facebook's 15th anniversary. It's 15 influencers weigh in on the company's 15th birthday. By influencers, they don't mean fucking YouTubers. They mean people like Steven Pinker and John Haidt. So, as well as a number of other brilliant people, some of whom I've heard of and some of whom I have not. But if they are considered to be in the same league as Steve Pinker and John Haidt, I am assuming they are brilliant. David Axelrod, he's brilliant. Different kind of brilliant than either Pinker or Haidt, but regardless. Anyway, I am actually not done reading this yet, but it was good. It's basically just like all these people saying like what they think is going to happen with social media over the next, couple decades. John Haidt and Steve Pinker actually did not entirely see eye to eye on that, namely in that John Haidt was not as optimistic. And frankly, I take his word more than Pinker's on social matters, so anyway. Hey Mark, 15 years ago you started Facebook, after your site ranking students' appearance was shut down. Oh, I need to see this. I need to see this. Yeah, I'll admit to really enjoying seeing Mark Zuckerberg get dunked on. I can't help but enjoy that. Yeah, especially considering how Facebook started out. It's like, oh, you wanted to make a website so that you could numerically rank women's appearance? Like, specifically? For real? You fucking dork? Like, god damn it. Literally 100% of dudes that rank women's appearance on a number scale are assholes. And if you do that and you think you're not an asshole, I would encourage you to reflect on that. Because odds are you have some really shitty beliefs about women if you can just, like, at the drop of a hat, like, oh, that's a 7, oh, that's an 8, just fucking grade us like we're fucking chattel. If you can do that, you have problems with women. I'll just fucking say that. I've never met a man in my life that fucking just automatically ranked women numerically that did not have fucking deep-seated fucking misogyny in them, for real. Yeah. Let alone an asshole that would make a whole website dedicated to that dehumanizing practice. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate ya. Okay. I feel like I talked about what I needed to talk about with regard to the internet. I didn't have, like, too much to say, honestly. I wanted to play a bunch of meme music. and talk about the good old days of the internet. Which I think I accomplished that. Anyway, I got an 8-bit version of Chocolate Rain for ya. It's actually a lovely melody and beat, and you can really tell that in the 8-bit version. No offense to Zonday and his vocal stylings, but it's a bit distracting. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming by and hanging out, and I hope to see you again in the future. Good night.